Hello, Karen. All right, I've got your work up. Let's take a look at your writing first, and then we'll take a look at the painting for this project I'm part of the photograph. It's a great shot, though. Really a good shot. I love it. She was visiting South Africa after setting up a proper file set. Thank you for describing your setup here. That's fantastic. Um, okay, painted the black stripes, zebra in the kitchen, the white stripes painted the head, zebra next, and then you go back to make the stripes so it would paint it correctly. As I painted the zebra, I would enlarge the image to paint the smaller strips. Absolutely, zooming in is critical. Sure. Strips, and I changed the size of the brush, of course. I also turned off the original layer to make sure all areas were painted. Smart, good production technique there. Zebra took many hours to paint. Absolutely. The results, I think there will be, nobody will argue the results of the mixing brush are phenomenal, just spectacular. The downside, well, I don't consider it a downside because I love digital painting. I think that the one thing that the caveat though is that it takes a long time. It's very time consuming, but well worth it as the results are just phenomenal. And then I want to continue on that thought because you say the zebra took many hours. As I was running out of time, I decided not to paint the background precisely as the zebra. I wanted the zebra to stand out more, so I painted an implied image of the background trees. I believe I think this worked against you. I do. I think that the background treatment works against you. I'll talk about that in 1 second. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the piece. I've got the piece up. Here it is right here. Okay, now, first of all, I think that there are some areas of the image that I think that we can get into a deeper painterly effect here. I think that we can show some brush strokes and some techniques. Don't be afraid to let that brush get wet. You don't have to clean that brush constantly. Let that brush get wet and use some texture. Indicate brush strokes. Right now, there's some areas here that just look like basic filter. Okay, I think this area right here, this area right here, and this area, this also right here, all look like a basic filter. And we know that filter's a one-click fix, right? So if you're going to use the mixing brush, my idea is to make it very, very apparent and very obvious that it is actually a painterly effect. So I think that right now, when I said the incomplete, or I shouldn't say incomplete because it is painted, but the technique in the background, I think I said is working against you a little bit. And the reason I say that is because there's kind of an inconsistency between the foreground and the background. My recommendation is to go through this and just really try to shoot for an extreme painterly effect, as opposed to this kind of could almost be mistaken as a Photoshop filter. I'm not trying to be discouraging at all. I think this is just a wonderful start. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I just love what's going on here. But I think that we can push it a little bit further. Okay, let me give you an example now. I'm going to show you Michaela's example, and I'm not comparing yours to hers. I'm not saying that hers is more effective or better or anything like that. I just, for a matter of comparison, I want you to take a look at Michaela's brush strokes. And you can see that they're just really, really phenomenal. Sorry about that. So see the brush strokes through here, and the background is just really completely got this painterly effect and enhances and really, really kind of shows off the paint stroke technique in the foreground and the focal point. So my recommendation is just to kind of go back and just kind of reinforce your techniques a little bit to try to make this look a little bit more painterly. Okay, and again, I don't mean to sound discouraging. I think this is just a gorgeous piece so far. I really think we can push this to another level by adding a little more texture in the brush strokes and a little bit more painterly effect to it. You don't have to keep the demarcation of white stripes and black. Feel free to blur in there, and we can see as some blurred effects right here and right here. So feel free to blur those effects. Definitely. I think that's what painting is all about, right? No hard edges really, unless we're doing a hard edge painting. But when we do traditional painting, there's really, I mean, unless it's trying to depict a very, very high degree of realism, there are no, you wouldn't really really worry about that black not falling into the white and the white not falling into black. But in more stylistic painting techniques, we wouldn't mind that at all. As a matter of fact, it would add a lot of visual engagement. That's kind of what I'm getting for. Okay, Karen, outstanding start here. Great job. Any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you very much.